And the basic thing of password hygiene is don't use the same password on multiple applications, because if the password is compromised in one, anyone who has access to that specific password will try to access any other application with the same username and same kind of password, or even different username and password. The basic premise is most of the times your phone number, your email address is already out in public because of multiple different reasons, because data brokers would be selling the information to interested parties.
The individual is responsible for that. So
Basic thing is the device, the smartphone or the computing device is owned by each individual. So they are responsible for the upkeep of that, because
something happens, and in the course of time, say like 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years, or something, those records might get overwritten or something, and there is no trace left. So how should we take it?
whatever you do online, there is a track or there is a log of whatever you are doing. So that is for sure. If an individual cannot do all these things like applying common sense and taking the basic steps of not being falling into a victim for a cyber crime, then it gets into the second half where the law and the investigation agencies will take their own time for doing all those things. So you have to keep all those things in mind. And there also there might be a difference between a common person's cyber complaint, whereas a celebrity's cyber complaint. So both gets addressed in different approach.
So we have Sangameswaran Manikkyam Iyer. He's a global cybersecurity leader. So we are keen to listen about how secure we can be. Social media is kind of part of life, so everyone might be spending like half an hour, 1 hour, or even more on a daily basis. So how safe, or what are things we should stay away from while using social media?
Basic premise is social media is online. And the moment you post something there, you share a picture, you share a video there, it is going to be there. And even if you delete, somebody might have saved it, or somebody might have taken a screenshot or do a screen grab of recording the video itself. So once you post it, it is out of your hands. And once it is out of your hands, then you don't control it. Like think of it like sharing a picture is putting it on a notice board. Like then anyone can get access, create multiple copies and stuff like that. So always think twice, thrice before you share any of those information on social media, because whatever happens online stays online. Even if you delete it, there might be some cache copies and stuff like that. So once you post it, it's always there. Now, anyone having access to those pictures can actually manipulate those pictures, which we have been seeing. And with the advent of AI, it is pretty easy. Like with a picture, you can create a whole video of that person doing specific actions, or like in a specific scenario. You can definitely create, because AI is getting better and better day by day. So once you have this picture, or even a small video, you can actually manipulate it, and there is a lot of things which is going to happen for sure, which can create a problem. Now, can you control it? You cannot do much, because the pictures which you are already shared or the videos which you are already shared in the past can still be used, right? So how much time you have to go through all these things and then try to do it, and then you see that you cannot do much, because you don't know where all it got shared, whether there is a cross posting which is happening, cross sharing which is happening across different platforms. So you have very limited control. So basic thing is it is up to each individual to share what they want to share, but always keep in mind, once it is shared or once it is posted online, it is going to be there.
In some of the countries, or some of the legal practices, or some companies, they keep this data for years. They may keep it for, so it's all up to them. But say there is an understanding that this IP changes after a certain period of time. So is there anything like that so that the things cannot be traceable after a certain point of time? And as the technology improves, say like for example, if Google is involved in, will there be data available so that they can be traced back, or because the IP got changed or the laptop is not working or it's not in his or her control, this cannot be traced back. Is there any such things that we can rely on?
That depends on case-to-case basis. So specific organizations, as I mentioned and elaborated earlier, that they might have all these things. So anything which gets changed, there would be a change log and it gets stored. But how long it is getting retained, it is up to the organization. Like what happened 15 years back, it's pretty difficult to trace it, but there are specific organizations who can actually go back like that kind of a duration and see what exactly has happened, like when was this IP changed, and then all those information can definitely be tracked. So it can definitely be done, but it depends on multiple different factors, like the organization who's going to hold on to this logs and stuff like that. Let's say an employee working for an organization created some problem within that organization, servers and stuff like that, and they left the organization. They quit the organization and they left. After 10 years, uh, nobody is going to find that out if that organization is not going to save all these logs and all those things within the organization. So they can definitely do nothing on that specific occasion. So that is something which needs to be kept in mind. Second thing is, let us say this employee launched an attack against an outside entity from within the company, then the company is responsible because they use company's IP to create that attack. So companies will be definitely be accountable for that. But then company needs to know an internal investigation to see who within the organization would have created this. And there would be logs for that. But everything is time bound. So if it is beyond the scope of that, like 10 years back, what happened and stuff like that, it is pretty tough. And it depends on the organizations as well. So two things, the law enforcement agencies or the investigation agencies, and then uh, the entities where or the companies where they would actually have these logs available, which can be made available as well. So a company like Google would definitely have logs from quite some years for sure.
Is there anything like a cyber insurance existing? Like, in such cases, there could be some material loss or content which is valuable that might get lost.
A lot of companies now started giving cyber insurance in India itself. It has been there in outside India in many different countries like UK, US, Canada, like Australia, like European countries. They definitely, because they realize that the cyber threats and cyber uh, assets are critical for the organization's success. So anything which is going to happen, they need to have it an insurance, right? Like when we drive car, there is a value for the car, plus there is a value for the human life. When we are driving, we should definitely try to cover our part, and then we should always try to cover the other person's injury or like loss of life and all those things as well. So that's why whenever there is an asset with a value involved in any kind of transaction, it's always better to have an insurance in the unlikely event of that happening to cover that. So cyber insurance has been in action like for more than 10, 15 years outside India, but it is definitely there in India as well now.
In some of the prominent cases, legal cases in Kerala, also, there are situations where the digital evidence is not kept safe, it is stolen, or if it's leaked. So if it is already leaked and it is out of someone's control, so or I don't know, it can get replicated many times. And as you rightly said, sometime back, AI can create more problems with that. So, what is the security of these digital evidences that are handed over to the legal authorities?
The basic thing is in front of law, definitely the evidence has to be preserved, and there needs to be a certification process for these evidences to be entered as an evidence in any case. So that is how the legal system works all over the world. Now, for the digital evidences, there needs to be a certification process. So normally, in the case of the Indian system, it will go to a forensic science lab, which is owned by the state, and then they need to provide a certificate also with that evidence when it is being entered as part of an evidence in any kind of legal disputes which is happening. Now, what that does is it shows that the evidence is preserved in its original form and its integrity is maintained. The basic premise is if the integrity is not maintained, or if it is altered, if it is copied and all those things, and there is no such certification which is going to happen, then that evidence can be questioned later. So, or that evidence can be challenged later, saying that there is no proof that this is authentic and this can be artificial or fake. So that can definitely be done. So this is one of those reasons why you would have heard about the term called hash value in many discussions happening. And this includes for the CCTV visuals when it is getting presented as an evidence in front of a legal system. So without the hash value, uh, it could be definitely be modified later. We have seen this in the movie, like one of Mohanlal's movie, where he is acting as an advocate, acting against Siddiq. Both of them were fighting for a specific case. I don't remember the movie name, but the CCTV evidence is.
Jitu Joseph did Native was somewhat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So it is being challenged because in one frame, it is actually modified and it is connected with other things. But in that case, there was no mention of any hash value and stuff like that because nobody knew what was the original hash value, right? You need to have the original hash value to compare it with. That is where the forensic science labs, FSL, or Central Forensic Science Labs, so like CFSL's role is much more critical to make sure that they certify saying that the video is not edited, and then uh, that will be accepted as proof. So otherwise, this can definitely be challenged.
Coming back to this, this premise of individual or even small organizations, whatever. So, like, say, I'm sure that I have not done a crime, but there is something that is imposed on me, and I know the system around, say, like, within this premise of wherever I am. They are not able to prove it, or they are accusing it in the wrong sense. So, is there any possibility that I can approach somewhere I can trust on that their capability? Like, for example, I'm in India. Is I know that you are in the US or Canada, and can I reach out to you to prove that? Is there any such provision?
Yeah, it is always a challenge because when you're contacting a specific specialist or a professional in that specific region, always try to reach out the person who is within that specific region because they know that legal frameworks better, how things work in a better way. Because sitting in US, I can always comment, but I may not have the right set of insights into how exactly things are. Like I have a pretty good understanding, but it's always recommended to have someone who has local insights about proving a case, either supporting or opposing that, saying that in any case you will have uh, two, bare minimum two different views or three views. The view what defense presents, the view what prosecution presents, and what is the real truth. So the legal framework is not about finding out the truth. Finding out the truth is actually from a law enforcement perspective, it is given to them when they present a case in front of the court. It is it is the argument between the prosecution and the defense, right? So it's always a like, can prosecution prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the accused has done a specific action, which is a crime? So And defense is trying to poke holes in prosecution's argument. And that's how it works world over.
So far we have been discussing very seriously. So to make it even lighter, I thought, did you come across or have you come across any such situations of any funny situations of hacking that you found in the first instance when you heard about it, you found kind of a laughing material?
So I don't want to take a specific movie name, but the moment I mention this, most people might know because uh, in movies they're showing things which is not accurately getting depicted of what exactly happens in real life. So you can see in one specific movie, the hero is actually trying to hack a system, and when they show the computer screen, you can see hacking starts. And once after specific stuff, specific commands which they are entering, it will come up and show the message hacking completed. Now, it is not like that in real life. So, a real life hacking goes through different stages, basic four stages like discovery phase, infiltration phase, data capture phase, and then data exfiltration phase. So, these are the four major phases. Uh, as the name implies, like discovery is finding out the target and then what kind of gaps, security gaps they have, what kind of vulnerabilities, what kind of opportunities are there to compromise. And then infiltration is like using multiple approaches, like it could be sending a payload or a phishing link and all those things, and making sure that the users actually click that and then that downloads a piece of code onto their system and that gets compromised. So that is data that is infiltration. And then data capture is like finding out where the sensitive data is residing, and then either take the whole data or the portion of the data outside so that it can be used later, or so that becomes data capture. And then exfiltration is like carrying this data out. So this is like a thief coming inside the house will see all the valuables and then they go out of the house empty-handed. No, that doesn't happen, right? So they come and then see what exactly is inside the house, what all they could take, they could capture, and then exfiltrate from the house. So this is the high-level perspective. Each stages will have its own specific, highly focused areas as well. So in some movies, they are showing almost realistic. I don't remember the names, or I don't want to mention the names, but they actually show much more accurate depiction of what happens in a hacking kind of a scenario. And that is really interesting. But most of the times, like I would say, it is real fun to watch these kind of movies. But movies are like make-believe, right? So you cannot blame them as well.
We even though we say that every individual using their devices apply the common sense, but there could be some intelligent way of tricking someone as the maybe I'll split this question into two. One is that how smartly can we get rid of this such scam calls or intervention into our privacy? That is one thing. Secondly, is there any course so that we don't stay ignorant on such things that can happen, as in any basic course, not that anyone can be a cyber security expert, but just to understand that these things are there and be aware of these things.
I'll address the second portion first. So there are a lot of awareness courses, free online courses available at Udemy or Coursera. So you can definitely do that for the basic tips and stuff like that, which common people can use. If you want slightly advanced, you can definitely go for the basic security certification courses. You don't need to pass the exam, but at least go through the content material and then see what exactly are these different terminologies, what is a multi-factor authentication, those kind of stuff. Because Coursera ones are going to say, hey, enable multi-factor on all supported websites and applications. But what exactly is a multi-factor is something which you would learn when you go through the second level of courses. It could be a CompTIA Security Plus or any of those basic certification courses. You can take the course and go through the material and you can read and understand. So that is not a big deal. The starting step is like don't give your private information or to on social media platform or online websites when you're making a purchase, don't sign up for any surveys and stuff like that. That is the first step. Second step is there are specific organizations or companies like Incogni is one of those who can actually liaison with data brokers and then make sure that our private information is pulled from those third-party websites or people who are actually going to use this to target us. So you would definitely see after the first 3 months, it's a subscription-based service. So you can sign up. There might be others who are going to offer or who offer for similar kind of service. So once you do that, and then you get after the initial 3 months, you can definitely see there is a decline of spam mails and stuff like that, which is definitely going to happen. And even this calls, and also make sure that you can also sign up and report for spam calls or the automated calls which would happen. You would definitely keep getting those text messages from the service providers. These are like the messages which you get in India have the suffixes with the S is for service, P is for promotion, and then G is for government specific information text messages. So just keep that in mind, and the government keeps sending these messages for any kind of telecom regulatory authority of India, TRAI-based services where you can definitely report for spam calls and stuff like that. And after multiple reports, you will definitely see a steady decline in the number of spam calls which you're getting.
So insightful listening to you. I know these are basic things that we had discussed or I had bothered you to, but I think we will definitely have one more round where there will be some specific instances or some more serious things that could affect a little more, larger companies or individuals for that matter. Thank you so much once again.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish, and have a wonderful evening.